When are you going to continue to push through? When are you really just going to push through? You got to do it. You got to push through. It ain't going to be comfortable. It's not going to feel right. Some folk are going to look at you like you're crazy, but you got to push through. What's up, family? What's happening? It's Thursday, 6:30 p.m. We back at it again. We
Hello.
back here. You see who I got with me, so I'm all right this week. Y'all know that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel a little extra oomph when she with me. So, hope you're having a good week. And, as I always, pray that you'll continue to make some things happen, that you continue to press forward and fighting through it. Okay. You got to fight through it because really, in order for you to get to where you need to be and what you want to do, and what you're supposed to be doing, adversity is coming. If you ain't already dealing with it, it's coming. So you might as well get your mind prepared for it. Start setting up shop to deal with it mentally, spiritually, physically, all of that. It's coming. So you might as well go ahead and get ready. Okay. But you got to fight through it. You got to fight through it. Okay. That's just the bottom line. Hey, we ain't going to make it all extra spooky and all extra spiritual. It's just simply, you got to fight your way through it. Okay. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be easy all the time. You got to fight your way through it. All right, let's go here. Let's do it because I got something I want to share today. I'm excited about it, as I always am, because I love Thursdays. Thursday, 6:30 p.m. is just special. I just absolutely love it. And then when she's here with me, is even more special. So I'm just telling y'all, I'm excited. I got a lot I want to say, but I'm going to try to do my best not to be before you super long. But y'all know how I do. Because anyway, and then she rolled her eyes at me like, oh, Lord. Anyway, so, but anyway, what we always do, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right. So here we go. Let's do this. So like last week, we still rocking with Solomon. We're still in 1 Kings. And last week we talked about Solomon and him being in relation with, I shouldn't say be in relation, but I mean him connecting with King Hiram from Tyre and from the land of Tyre. And they formed an alliance that helped Solomon begin to build the temple. Okay. And it was something that God had promised his father David that it would do, but because of things and situations in life and people not getting along, and David being on the run for a lot of his life from his own family, he wasn't able to do that. Okay, but through David, Solomon, God promised that it would be done through Solomon, I should say. Okay, and so. That's where we at now. He connects with King Hiram. King Hiram, because of the relationship he had with David, felt that let me connect with his son, and he was happy to see that his son was going to build it, and I guess God laid on his heart to connect with him, and it became a good thing, right? It became a real good thing, and allowed him to get everything that he needed, plus to be able to build an altar. And then on the flip side of that, King Hiram was able to name his price, say, hey, whatever you want, I got you. You let me know what you want. So King Hiram was able to name his price. So I challenged you on that question last week is, can you name your price? Right? Can you name your price? Now, but before I get too far, because we're going to still touch on that. That's another reason why I'm excited about this, because there's a whole lot I want to say about this. But, before I go any further, baby, you had anything you want to say?
No.
Because I know last week you was excited. Well, week before last, you was excited about chapter 5, and
I'm always excited when they're talking about building a church. Just the thought makes me excited.
Yeah. So, and as just I don't know if this is your first time hanging out with us at 6:30 or whatever, but simply what we do here is that we just share the word of God, and we just try to use we use the word of God to sustain what we believe, number one. And number two, we use the word of God to grow and learn and try to figure out how we get the best out of this thing called life. Because simply put, if we read the word of God and really take our time and just digest it and just look at the words and think about the words that's in this Bible right here. Number one, you realize the Bible ain't as spooky as you think it is. Now, there's some stuff up in there that'll be like, good gracious, what in the world going on? But for the most part, this is your blueprint right here. So we go around, we read a lot of these self-help books, and we read a lot of these motivational books, and we go to these conferences and I'm not speaking ill about any of that. Now, and we go to coaching sessions. We go to all kinds of places first. And we never touch this. And I'm just saying, let's touch this first. Let's just reverse that. Okay. Let's touch this first and then go seek those other things, because there's nothing wrong with that. God has given them wisdom, has given them knowledge, has given them skills and talents to be able to talk to people. I mean, my wife can tell you right here, I'm a YouTube person. I stay on YouTube. I don't even watch TV too much. I'm always watching YouTube. Number one, because I get to decide what I want to watch, but I'm always watching something that's going to, help me grow. Even watching my bowling videos is still something, because that's a passion of mine. Y'all know that. But
no, I was going to say something after you finish.
Okay, but just being able to control but again, there's nothing wrong with going out and asking for help, seeking wisdom from other places. But we just here believe that you got to start with this right here. We start with this, and then we build on that, and we not add to this, but we add to our lives from interacting and talking with others. Come on, man.
Yeah, I was just saying, you're right about that. I went through my stuff upstairs, and I found a booklet that I had. It was a calendar, and back in 1994, 3, etc. And I looked through it, and I saw where I had written on each day of the month scriptures related to what I was going through. And it was just amazing to go back and look at that, to see how God helped me get through that rough period of my life just by using this blueprint, as Ron said, to help me get through that.
Yeah. And so we've been, you're right, Rick, that's it. Put the word on it. That's it. That's what we do. And putting the word on it is we laugh and joke about that all the time, but this is it right here. If you start with this right here, God has given us all the instruction we need right here. Okay. Now, sometimes he'll use people to take his word. Okay. And you'll be surprised how many people out here that don't even know this word, but yet they're still using biblical principles. His principles are his principles. They will never change. Okay. And regardless of who's applying it, it's got to work. Okay. Because if it don't work, then that means this whole Bible is no good. And we know that ain't going to happen. So again, we use this right here, this blueprint right here. And then he'll just use other people sometimes to, take this and say it in a way that you can digest it and understand it and apply it to your life. And hopefully that's what you get out of what we do here on Thursdays at 6:30. What's up, Petey? Hope you're doing well, bro. But let's go. Let's get into it, right? Because I'm really excited. I ain't gonna lie to you. But so I talked about chapter 5. So chapter 6, it goes into deep detail about building the church, about building the altar. The temple. And it just goes really in deep detail, like really detailed, right? So I always tell you, go read it for yourself. So chapter 6 and chapter 7, we're going to talk both of them tonight. But chapter 6, there was one piece out of chapter 6 that I want Deb to read real quick, and I'm going to expound on it a little bit. But chapter 6, here, again, all we're doing is just building the temple, and it's really detailed. But there was one piece in there, one nugget out of chapter 6 that I want us to hear. And let's talk about that real quick. Read it. What you got, babe?
Is that 7-11?
No, 6.
11
through 13. I'm sorry. First Kings 6, chapter 6, verses 11 through 13.
Okay. Then the Lord gave this message to Solomon concerning this temple you are building. If you keep all my decrees and regulations and obey all my commands, I will fulfill through you the promise I made to your father David.
Through you. So here's the nugget that I want you to get out of this right here. Okay. When you read chapter, what I said, chapter 6. I'm getting my chapters mixed up. When you read chapter 6, this is what I want you to get out of chapter 6. Not only the detail, not only how detailed they are about how they build the temple, but God said to Solomon, look, you do what I tell you to do. Not only is it going to be a blessing to you, but it's also going to confirm and be a blessing to David's name and what he stood for and who he was as a person. But what you do also is going to affect some other folks. So if you do what I tell you to do, not only am I going to be a blessing to you, but I'm going to be a blessing to the Israelites. I'm going to be with them. I'm going to make sure they're good too. But now just think about that charge that's on Solomon as the leader. See, a lot of folk like to be that leader. A lot of folk want to be that person. You want to be the head honcho. You better be careful what you ask for. Because right here, Solomon is now, not only is he in charge of building this temple, as he's instructed to do so, but he has to do it exactly like he's told. Because not only is his blessing, his name, his dad's name, his name, and the people that he's in charge of are going to be impacted. Thank you. They're going to be impacted by what he does. So just be careful. Now, here's the reality. You're a leader anyway, whether you want to accept it or not. Okay? Just start in your own home. You're a leader. So what you do does affect others. Okay? So even though this is on a grand scale, but to me, your home is just as grand as what he's doing right here, which is why you have to do what you're called to do, because other people are going to be depending on you doing what you're supposed to be doing. So that's the big nugget I want you to get out of chapter 6 right there. So we're going to move on to chapter 7. Now this one right here, she might have to pull my coattail on this one because I might get overexcited on this one right here. But this one right here, I'm going to tell you right now, let me just say this right now. If you're not willing to change, if you're not willing to fight through, if you're not willing to do what you need to do, you're called to do, to be who you're supposed to be and do the things you're supposed to do, you might as well stop listening right now. Matter of fact, don't even just go ahead and go to the next Facebook thing that you want to, or if you want to go to TikTok, go somewhere, because you don't want to listen no more of this. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to put you on what we call on Front Street, old school thing right there. I'm telling you right now, if you are not willing to do what you need to do, if you're not willing to be uncomfortable for a little while, in order for you to be where you're supposed to be and do the things you're supposed to do, you might not even want to listen to this anymore. You might want to just go ahead and just cut it off and go do something else. Don't even waste your time. Listen to anything else I got to say tonight, because quite honestly, chapter 7, what I got out of chapter 7, and there's a little small piece out of chapter 7, because chapter 7 was just like chapter 6, even more detail. Okay. But it's something in chapter 7 that for me, it kind of goes into what we talked about last week. But you have got to want to change if you want better for your life. If you want better, you got to do something different. Because evidently, if you're not where you want to be in life, evidently what you've been doing is not enough. It's not going to get it done. Because if it was getting it done, you'll be where you want to be. Which means you got to make some changes. And it starts within you. It starts with you. So you still just trying to stay the same person. What's that saying? Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, I got a couple problems with that. First of all, who you calling old? Who you calling old? All right. But second thing is right there. Unless you're walking around on 4 legs, that does not apply to you. Now, if you walk around on all 4 legs, okay, we ain't gonna teach you no new tricks. But if you ain't walking around on 4 legs, that saying does not apply to you. Now, we say it all the time. We've all heard it. And the bad thing is about a lot of us have internalized that and accepted that, okay, I'm 68. I am who I am. I'm setting my ways. The devil is a liar. Because as long as there's breath in your body, there's something for you to do. There's something for you to learn. And there's something that you need to work on to get you where you're supposed to be. We are always changing. We are never supposed to stay the same. That's living life. We can't stay stuck in neutral. We can't stay this way and then want to use excuses. Well, this is just the way I am. And why you got to stay the way you are? Because evidently that's the reason why you're nasty. That's the reason why your attitude ain't no good. That's the reason why you're not achieving what you're supposed to be achieving, because you are not willing to change. All right. Come on, babe. I told you I'm getting excited about this.
Well, I mean, God, he shifts us. He takes us to different levels and different places and different things. It's his divine shift. So you have to be willing to allow him to, shift you to those different places in those different levels. And
you got to trust him. You got to, again, this is what we do on here. Well, we're not sitting here trying to act like we got it all together. We figured it out as well. Okay. But I just know I have seen it, and I've always, even within my own life, this last year is so much I have seen simply from me doing a shift in my own self of trusting him. Do I have everything I want? No. Am I where I want to be? No. But I'm further along than what I was. I promise you this. Number one, I've been doing this. I've been blessed to be able to do this for over 4 years now. April 1st made 4 years I've been doing this. I promise you, when I first started this on April 1st, 2020, I promise you, I didn't see this. I did not see this. I did not see every Thursday I can't wait for 6:30. I didn't even set out for this. But now I'm into this now. And you're talking about somebody who, had I even tried to read, thank God I've always known how to read, but if I had taken the time to even try to read, I promise you, I would have been a straight A student, or maybe at least AB. But I was one of those students that just barely got by. Why? Because I didn't want to read. As much as I love bowling, didn't want to read anything about bowling. That's still a struggle for me. But now I get into this, and then he set me up with this 6:30 thing. So, but I had to be willing to change. I had to be willing to allow him to use me to do this. Now I have an excitement on the inside of me that I look forward to 6:30. Nothing else matters at 6:30 on Thursday, but being right here to talk with y'all, to encourage y'all. So I'm not telling you to do something that I don't have to do. No, it starts with me. I got to do the same thing I'm encouraging y'all to do. So I have to change. If I want better for myself, if I want to be where I want to be, I got some big dreams and big goals. I really do. And some more big dreams and big goals coming. But it ain't going to happen if I don't want to change, if I don't want to do, if I want to stay the same old Ron. Like, what comes to mind is that scripture, I think it's in Matthew, or I know it's in a couple verses, a couple books in the New Testament, but you talk about putting old wine in new skin. Come on now. That ain't going to work. And then the ones want to drink that old wine, they're going to be like, they don't even want to touch the new. And so how many of us have done that? We ball our face up when something new comes around, and we don't even want to try it. But then we wonder why we are not further along. Why the money funny? Why we just can't get good relationships? Why we can't do this and we can't do that? Why we're not growing? But you want to stay the same, but you want something different? How does that work? It's not going to work. All right. Verse.
Where are you at?
Chapter 7. Chapter 7. Because I'm telling you, you gotta change. We gotta. Stop making excuses. We gotta stop with the excuses. Change ain't always easy, but it's necessary. And it's necessary for your growth. And it's necessary not only for your growth, but you'd be surprised who's looking at you. Let's start with your kids for number one. Let's start. We staying in your house first. We ain't talking about outside your house. Let's stay in your house. Let's stay in your house. Because who's looking at you in your house? A lot of folks stress about their kids and what they go outside and do. Why? Why we stress about our kids outside and what they do? Why? Because that's your name on it. That's half of you walking out there. That's half of you out there making decisions. Now, the question is, are they making decisions based upon what you taught them or what you showed them in your own house? It starts at home. So what are you teaching your kids? What are you showing your kids? How are you talking to your kids? Like I said, we've been talking about Solomon here for a few weeks. But how did all this thing start with Solomon? Simply because his dad said, you are wise. He planted a seed in him. And look at what happened with that seed with Solomon. Was Solomon perfect? Heck no. And the more we get into Solomon's life, you're going to find out that he wasn't perfect. But look at what he accomplished. Look at some of the things he did and the lives he affected.
Yeah. As you said, planting the seed is very important. And I remember my dad, when I was younger, he used to drill in my head, strive to be in the 20%, not the 80%. That's all he used to say. You know, be in the 20%. You know, when he didn't want me to hang around certain people and et cetera, he was like, strive for that 20%, Deborah. You know, don't get caught. And so that thought always stayed with me. You know, and affected how I conducted, you know, the things that I did.
Your words matter. The words you come out of your mouth. And basic what he was telling you, don't stand for being mediocre. Don't stand for that. You were called to be greater. You were called to do great things. Great does not equal mediocre. That does not equal. That's two different levels. They would never be the same. They would never be equal. You settling for mediocre does not allow you to be great. Does not allow you to be the best that you're supposed to be. Does not allow you to be to that next level that you're trying to get to. And I'll notice I said trying, because that's all you're doing is trying. But you can achieve it when you make up in your mind that I'm not going to settle for that. I'm not going to be less than. Now, who told you who you are? Who told you who you are? Who told you that you're supposed to be this? Who told you that you're supposed to be that? Did he tell you? Or did he over there tell you? Did she tell you that that's all you're supposed to be? Did you accept that? Did you own that? Did you embrace that? Because a lot of us are living beneath our means. We're less than we're supposed to be. Simply because we are internalizing it and accepting what somebody else said you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. Everybody's not going to agree with what you are called to do. They're not going to see the vision. They're not going to understand it. So stop trying to prove yourself to other folk. The only person you need to prove yourself to is him. And when you prove yourself to him and you rock with him and you let him take control, everybody else going to fall in line. Trust and believe. Everything is going to be in order like it's supposed to be. They ain't going to always agree. They ain't going to always understand. So understand that part. They're not going to always understand what God is calling you to do. Where he's leading you, where he's pushing you to do, what that excitement he got on you, that stuff that's burning on the inside of you. He gave you that for a reason. But you settling because you don't know what they think. You're afraid of what they got to say. You worried about what they think. You will never achieve what you're supposed to achieve when you worried about what other folk think. I got to get to 1 Kings chapter 7. I'm sorry. We just can't settle for mediocrity. Is that a word?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We can't settle for that. He has called you to be greater. But you got to do something to make yourself greater. There we go. 1 Kings chapter 7, 13 and 14. Read that for me real quick, babe.
King Solomon then asked for a man named Hiram to come from Tyre. He was half Israelite, since his mother was a widow from the tribe of Naphtali, and his father has been a craftsman in bronze from Tyre. Hiram was extremely skillful and
talented. Come on with it.
In any work in bronze, and he came to do all the metal work for King Solomon.
So I need you to picture this real quick. This might not be the best, but this is what comes to mind. Now, United States, North Korea, there's always been some tension there, right? Now, understand, I'm going to go back here a little bit. King Hiram, if you read chapter 5, King Hiram and Solomon made a pact so he can help him build this this temple, right? He was sending them wood. But it also said in chapter 5 that they made basically a peace treaty. So if they made a peace treaty, basically what they're saying is at some time there was some friction between the two of them. There was some uneasiness between those two countries. Okay. But they made a peace between the two of them and decided to work together. Right. And so here we are right here. This gentleman is from Tyre. Solomon is asking for this gentleman to come and do some specific work for him. Now, why did he ask for him? Evidently, this dude set himself up to be called because he got special skills. But just because he was blessed with special skills didn't mean he didn't have to do some work to make sure those skills was in order. You might be called to be a barber, but if you don't go to school and learn your craft and really understand hair and how the different grains of hair work, you only gonna know how to do one head and that's it. So you got to spend some time. I touched on that last week. We want the glory, but we don't want the gory. And the gory part is having to get down here and learn your craft, the nitty gritty, getting into it and understanding everything about it. Like paying attention to detail. That's what this guy did. I don't know how long he did it, but he did it so much to the point where he had people calling for him from another country. Hey, I need you over here in my country to do some work because evidently you the man. You the skillful one. You the one that's this special talent. So I need you here. So I'm calling for you. So you wonder why ain't nobody calling for you. That's because you ain't spent enough time for perfecting your craft. But you want the glory, but you don't want the gory because you don't want to do the work. You don't want to change. You don't want to go through it, the uncomfortable part. You're not getting it. I know I got to go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. See, that's my wife. I told you I'd get it. All right. I'm just telling y'all, you got to, my God, you got to change. And part of the change is you have to be willing to be uncomfortable for a small period of time. But once you get in and you understand what it is you're called to do, you know how to do it. You're getting the wisdom, you're getting the knowledge, you're getting all of that. And you understand down to the nitty gritty what it is you're supposed to be doing. Then you're going to find something that's going to be so powerful happening in your life that you won't even be able to explain it. You won't be able to contain it. And it's just going to be so absolutely awesome. And it's not going to be just awesome for you, but the people around you, including starting in your household, are going to be blessed by it. All right. I know I will extend my welcome today, but I am so excited about this. I'm not going to promise you that you won't hear some more of this. I ain't going to promise you that because you just might hear some more next week. I'm sorry, because this dude right here, please get this out chapter 7. That dude spent time working on his craft. And now folk from other countries was calling him, come on over here. I got you. I can go on and on about this because I'm feeling this one right here, but I'm going to go ahead and shut it down because I know it's been a long time and I'll just get excited. But thank y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Hopefully something that was said tonight that resonates in you and makes a difference and you continue to be greater than you already are. There's so much greatness in you. And it's time for you to move forward in it. Go make it happen. Go make it do what it do because the time is right now.
Yes.
We can no longer wait. He's called you to greater. He's waiting on you. Mm-hmm. It's on you. He already got the plan for you. You just got to be willing to go with them. Pray, plan, prepare, proceed. Let's go make it do what it do. We're going to see you next week at 6:30. Love you.
Love you.